TomoNews presents the Lunar New Year. Hot Russian wife experiences very first Chinese New Year. Awww is a 25-year-old woman from Russia who married a Chinese man in 2002. However, 2014 was the first time she spent the Chinese New Year holiday with her husband's family. She and her husband went back to his hometown in Inner Mongolia earlier this month. She thought this was the time she could finally relax after a long year. Well, Awww, aren't you naive? The Chinese New Year holiday is when Chinese people are the busiest. On Chinese New Year's Eve, Awww had to wake up early to help cook a massive reunion dinner feast. That only took, half the day. At dinner, her in-laws kept giving her food and she was expected to finish everything in her bowl. In the following days, the eating marathon continued as she visited all of her husband's relatives and then some, as well as some temples. Awww described the Chinese New Year holiday as actually being more work than her job. However, she said she still had a good time. After all, you aren't a real Chinese wife if you haven't celebrated the Chinese New Year holiday.
Flights cancelled as cross-strait tensions rise. Taiwan and China are locked in a fierce dispute over new flight routes, with Chinese New Year travelers bearing the consequences. China Eastern Airlines and Xiamen Air have cancelled 176 flights during the February 15 to 20 lunar holiday, affecting roughly 50,000 passengers. The Chinese carriers failed to get approval on 4 flight routes over the Taiwan Strait, which passes within 7.8 kilometers of the country's territorial line at its nearest point. Taiwan says the routes pose a safety threat since they come close to airspace used by Taiwanese commercial and military aircrafts. China Eastern accused Taiwan of violating the humanitarian needs of passengers and their families, while China's Civil Aviation Administration condemned authorities for refusing to give approval. But Taiwan claims it hadn't been consulted over the routes as it should have been under a 2015 agreement. Taiwanese passengers have been advised to take other flights, though military planes will be deployed at Taiwan-controlled Kinmen to transport citizens to the main island.
China's traffic troubles. Largest human migration over Lunar New Year. As the Chinese New Year is coming up, millions of Chinese are testing the limits of the country's fragile transport system, and they experience all sorts of mishap on their way home. Last Saturday, Mrs. Deng and her husband got caught up in traffic when they drove from Guangdong to their hometown in Hunan province. Worrying about the traffic, they hadn't eaten anything, but after 9 hours of driving, they regretted not buying adult diapers. Finally, the couple got off the car to pee on the highway, and found that many people were doing the same. Some even walked their dogs. If you think taking trains will be trouble-free, you're very, very wrong. This man knelt at the train station, begging the conductor to let him on the train, which has already departed 40 minutes ago. On the same day, a man passed out on the train to Nanzhang after knowing that his parents had set him up for a blind date. Perhaps coming home is not such a great idea? Panda tries to skip work during Lunar New Year. According to Lunar New Year traditions, the third day is the day for sleep. But Yuan Zai, the annoying panda cub in the Taipei Zoo, apparently didn't have enough sleep. When the zookeeper brought her out, she quickly climbed down and tried to follow him back to the care center. He had to return and take care of the needy baby. Yuan Zai finally came around and decided to spend some time on a tree branch. It took her 3 minutes to reach the top. But then she passed out like a lazy Chinese walker. The little rat showed off different sleeping positions to the amazement of the mindless crowd. According to the zoo, it was already time for Yuan Zai to go back to sleep when she was brought out for display. The Taipei Zoo saw an 8% growth during the Lunar New Year holiday.
Romance with Chinese characteristics. Blind dating takes hold in rural China. In the face of cultural pressure to get married young, blind dates are quickly becoming a phenomenon among 20-somethings in rural Chinese villages. In an attempt to find Mr. Right as soon as possible, this young woman from Henan province says she recently arranged 5 blind dates in a single day and wasn't even able to remember what her first date looked like by the time she sat down with her last. Worried that their 21-year-old son would be single forever, Wang Tao's parents arranged a slew of blind dates for him during this past week's Chinese New Year. He found the girl of his dreams and the two went from first date to engagement in record time. Matchmakers can make a killing each time they successfully pair a couple. There's obviously no guarantee this trend will lead to happier marriages, but we wish these couples the best of luck regardless.
Taiwanese worship God of Fortune as part of Lunar New Year celebrations. As part of celebration to ring in the Year of the Horse, Monday, the 5th day of the Chinese New Year, saw festivities all across Taiwan to celebrate the birthday of Caishen, the traditional Chinese god of fortune. Hordes of worshippers flooded temples dedicated to the god in order to light up joss-sticks and to have their fortunes told. Followers burned incense as they prayed for good fortune and prosperity in their careers. Many, though, no doubt also came to receive a bit of cash from the Caishen himself.
This kid is just another example of child poverty in China. A viral video showing a 7-year-old boy making deliveries in the eastern Chinese city of Qingdao has added fuel to the ongoing debate about child poverty in China. Posted on Chinese video site Pear Video, Li Changjiang, nicknamed Little Li, delivers packages to people on his little delivery cart, and in an interview with Pear Video, Little Li says he delivers up to 30 packages a day. According to multiple reports in China, since the age of 3, Little Li was raised by his father's former colleague, Yan Shifang. Little Li's father is believed to be dead due to abuse of alcohol, and his mother remarried and lost touch with him. After picking up several odd jobs, Yan started working as a delivery man and began bringing Little Li with him going around the city. Surprisingly, Little Li enjoyed the delivery job and soon wanted to have his own little delivery cart. Ever since the video of Little Li was posted online on January 14th, his story has been one of the most discussed topics on China's social media site Weibo, with most commenters expressing sympathy and hopes for a better life for the boy. The BBC reports that Little Li is now staying with a welfare center for children and will be enrolled in a school. Many online commenters have pointed out flaws in the country's social security system, with the government failing to address the issue of child poverty in China. Little Li is not the only child to have gained internet fame because of his story. A photo of an 8-year-old child nicknamed Ice Boy went viral after people saw the image of him covered in ice after walking 2.8 miles to school.